Have green, that's just the general strong flow out ahead of the thunderstorms there, right along the leading edge. That is coming in from the south and east, and then we get a little bit more of a winds in the showers themselves come in from the south and west, and could give some damaging wind gusts. Right now, if I ask the computer to find a circulation center, not really any. We're usually looking at these little blue circulation centers. It has gotten consistently weaker, and the correlation coefficients, nothing. It's all out on the edge where there's pretty low returns at this point. So nothing that's suggesting a tornado at this point. I do want to take a look down at this next storm. This one, this little line segment here, would be the one that would be most likely coming most directly right into Baltimore. At this point, it does not look as if its winds themselves are extremely intense. We're seeing a lot of this red colors in here. If I interrogate that, it's only showing about 30 to 40 miles per hour in that. So we look like we're somewhat less threatened at the moment. I'm going to back it up here. This is the last time that we had the tornado warning for this storm, and you can see what happened there. The tornado warning had been issued for here. The storm moved out of that, came up into the Ellicott City area, and then up to the Woodlawn area. At this time, I'll take a look here. We had a little bit of, well, even not too much rotation there. I'll go back, and this is right about here when it was down around Waterloo, and that was about 1:15 is where you can see the strongest rotation. The red's going eastbound, the green's going westbound. So the tornado vortex signature was right about in there, and someone has just taken over my radar and put it in motion for me. So let's see if I can get that stopped. I cannot get that stopped. So at this point, we are tornado warningless. Still showers and thunder showers coming into coming back into the Washington area, more for the Baltimore area, but for the moment, they do not look as severe a threat as the ones that we've already had. Let's go back now to the ladies in the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Dr. Forbes. For the moment, things are a little quieter than they were, say, just 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, or an hour ago.
Yes,
absolutely.
with those very strong winds moving through the D.C. area.
Yeah, D.C. and the Baltimore area. Again, we have a new view for you. This is actually of the Baltimore area. Right now, it looks pretty quiet out there, but I can promise you this. We are going to be seeing some shots coming out of there with the blinding rain at times as it moves into Baltimore, right along the 95 area as well as into 295. So heads up for you. We take you back over to our graphics here, and we kind of zoom in a bit more into the Baltimore area. James B, if you will, this is 83. You can see there's Aberdeen. And as we zoom in and kind of look into that Baltimore area, we're going to continue to see weather conditions going downhill. Let's lift that back up to the top of the screen if we could, so you can kind of see a little bit better, and you can see where the weather condition is.
I let him know every time I save $1.
Every time.
Now there is a tool made for you. Introducing Savings Catcher from Walmart. It compares prices to top stores in your area. If there's a lower advertised price, Walmart will give you the difference on an e-gift card.
Oh, money!
For a limited time, get 2 times the Savings Catcher reward dollars when you redeem to your Bluebird card.
Every penny counts.
Yep. Join the millions of people saving money with Savings Catcher. Go to walmart.com/Savings Catcher. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Hey, I noticed your car's not in the driveway.
Yeah, it's in the shop. It's gonna cost me an arm and a leg.
That's hilarious.
Sorry.
Should have taken it to Midas. Get some of that Midas touch. They'll tell you what stuff needs fixing and what stuff can wait.
All right. Next time, going to Midas.
High five. Did not see that coming.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package, including an oil change for only $24.99. And here's the deal. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $25. Oil, tires, brakes, everything. Trust the Midas Touch.
Sunday nights. When the wind blows. The Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Sweetie, I'd love a hazelnut.
Mom, Dad, Big Uncle Wayne.
Hot chocolate.
Green tea.
Decaf, cuz?
Wow.
I'm dying for herbal tea.
The all-new Keurig 2.0 is here. Let's do a reality check. Kids will be kids. Dogs will be dogs. So let's get some paint that's more than just paint. Made to stand up to this and look beautiful for years. Let's lose the old marks and messes and stop new ones in their tracks. Let's worry-proof our walls. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Bear Premium Plus with Easy Clean Finish starting at $25.97 a gallon.
Will new Twizzlers Mixed Berry Bites ever end their rivalry with new Jolly Rancher-filled gummy bites? Not today. Bites, little greatness.
So, you're saying you'll give me my credit score for free? Right. Now you're going to ask for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low 2 weeks later. Look, Credit Karma.
Are you talking to websites again?
This website says free credit scores.
Oh, Credit Karma. Yeah, it's really free. Look, you don't even have to put in your credit card information. What?
Shipping a brown Gratz bow is, you never Jim Jam River Flab driver is.
What's Bon's easy drink?
Travel should would leave her Murray.
Hey, big bog panorama corn salad baby.
Dude, squibble beds.
Mayor Yazy.
Warm-up snap, Jebby Robon Big Dito Flash.
Now's the time to get in the loop. Just look for our fall TV picks with Xfinity On Demand. Quickly find the season's hottest shows with a hand-picked collection all in one place. Only from Xfinity.
At the Watershed, we believe in recovery. We believe that every alcoholic and addict deserves the opportunity to be healed. Our team of addiction professionals will address the underlying causes of your addiction while treating you with dignity and respect. We've helped thousands of patients recover from this seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Addicts can recover. Addicts do recover. No matter how hopeless the situation seems, the time to get help is now. Call the Watershed today.
Free brochure, call 800-297-0549. For reservations, contact your travel professional.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. An all-new season starts Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live. We have a lot to bring you today, and of course, we're tracking the severe weather out there.
Yes, over the last several hours, we've been following storms over the mid-Atlantic, and for the rest of the evening, this is the targeted area from the eastern parts of North Carolina through New York State. We are watching for the threat of strong and severe storms. In fact, we've already had tornado warnings that were issued just within the last couple of hours around the D.C. area. Here's a look at the current radar. Shows a large area of heavy rain with embedded storms.
Yeah, all moving ahead of that front. Of course, we had tornado warnings out of the D.C. area as well as out of Baltimore earlier on. They have since expired, but does not mean that we're not still looking at strong storms out there, especially some of the gusty winds out there as we go through the day. Well, right now, we want to go over and kind of time this out for you as we look ahead through the day, 7:30 p.m., moving into the New York City area as well as into upstate New York, and then later into the afternoon tomorrow, we'll still be tracking the severe weather.
Yeah, so another 24 hours at least of following the severe weather as it moves through the mid-Atlantic into the Northeast.
And right now we want to shift gears a bit for you, and we want to talk about the severe weather here, and then eventually look what's going to be happening across parts of the tropics. And for that, we are going to turn it over to Michael Lowry. But there is your forecast, Baltimore. By Friday, you're going to be looking at sunshine out there.
All right, shifting gears now to the tropics, and we'll bring in hurricane specialist Michael Lowry.
Hey, Vivian, some new numbers in from the National Hurricane Center on Gonzalo. This one, the strongest hurricane that we've seen in the Atlantic Ocean in 3 years, since Ophelia back in 2011. Here is the 2 o'clock advisory, 130-mile-per-hour winds, so the wind's still at Category 4 strength. Those pressures haven't really come down. There was a Hurricane Hunter plane in there earlier. That's since taken off. Another one has come in, so we're going to get that latest information from you and bring it to you live coming up here next hour, moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. It's about 400 miles or so to the north of Puerto Rico, or about 600 miles to the south-southwest of Bermuda. This is what it looks like on the visible picture, and a very, very small eye to this. In fact, the eye wall, the primary ring of the worst weather pulling in, we call this eye wall contraction, and it's being replaced by an outer eye wall, another eye wall that's forming on the outside. When this happens, the winds may temporarily come down or sort of level off. I think that's what we're seeing right now. But at the same time, the wind field, the maximum winds are expanding. So this storm is going to become a little bit bigger as it moves off toward the north. Let's talk about the forecast by showing you the upper level winds with the water vapor picture. This is the flow at the mid to upper part of the atmosphere. A few things going on here. You have this dip in the jet stream over the eastern part of the U.S. That's that same system that brought all of the severe weather to the central part of the U.S. earlier this week. That is what's really going to protect the lower 48 from seeing direct impacts from Gonzalo. It's going to effectively pick it up and deflect it away toward the northeast. Unfortunately, though, it's going to come awfully close, if not over Bermuda here in the next day or two. There is a hurricane watch up for Bermuda right now. This is the official forecast cone from the Hurricane Center. We'll get a new one of these in just a few hours with their full advisory coming up at around 5 o'clock Eastern time. But a Category 3 hurricane, 125-mile-per-hour winds. This is what we call a major hurricane, and the forecast just to the west of Bermuda. But remember, a hurricane is not just a point on a map. It's a very big system. So at the very least, we're going to see tropical storm conditions and possibly hurricane conditions by Friday morning in Bermuda. The main impact from Gonzalo there is going to be the strong winds. Not so much the coastal flooding, not so much the rainfall, because it's going to be moving at a pretty quick clip. But that would cause a lot of problems there in Bermuda. Just something to pay attention to if you're living, or if you have any vacation plans out there. Certainly that probably going to be canceled. All right, Tropical Storm Anna, this one in the Central Pacific Ocean, 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm. Well, why are we talking about the Central Pacific? We look over here to the left of your screen. That is Hawaii. This is about 600 miles or so from the big island of Hawaii, and expected to strengthen here over the next few days. Here is the forecast cone from the Hurricane Center. By the weekend, we're talking about a hurricane threat to Hawaii. Stay tuned. I'll have more on this. Dave Swartz and Kate Parker coming up right after the break.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The
nation's capital is clear of a tornado warning for now. A deadly storm system sliding eastward. Now Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York City metro areas are in for storms.
And not everything is as it seems. Take this live picture from Bermuda, complete with a breeze. Well, the tiny island nation is in for another fight. That's right, this time with a major hurricane. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. And not only in Bermuda is Bermuda in the path of a major hurricane, but residents of the Northeast are getting hit by what's left of the October severe outbreak this week.
Going on for days and days and days.
Yeah.
I'm Kate Parker in for Alex Wilson. In Atlanta, for instance, the National Weather Service is confirming 5 tornadoes.
Woken from a dead sleep to this just a horrible sound. Very, very scary.
But all of a sudden we heard like a jet plane or a freight train just coming across the back of the house.
Yeah, now that weather is moving east, and while a new batch of Americans are dealing with storms, NBC's Dylan Dreyer tells us others are learning to cope with lifelong damage.
Here in Durham, the rain really came down very heavily, and we've noticed this whole storm system transition from a severe weather event to more of a heavy rain event. So from here on out, we're not really looking for widespread damage from wind or tornadoes. Sadly, though, the same can't be said for parts of the South earlier this week. Charles Edward Witham, a Marine and father of 4, was killed when his home was hit by a tornado. We talked to his mother and daughter. This wasn't the first tornado to tear through Juliana Ormsby's hometown of Ashdown, Arkansas, but it was the first time her home was directly in one's path.
I feel like it's a nightmare that's not stopping.
She and 2 of her siblings were home with their parents, Roxanne and Eddie Witham, when the EF2 tornado tore through their neighborhood, the 111-mile-per-hour winds blowing their house to pieces.
All I saw was my walls all coming at me and my bed flipping me through the air.
All 3 children and their mother survived the storm. Eddie, a former Marine, did not.
He went through 2 tours in Iraq, and a tornado kills him.
I can't believe he's gone. Everything that he's not going to be able to do now. He's not going to be able to see any of us graduate or walk me down the aisle.
The children's mother remains in critical condition this morning after undergoing surgery on Tuesday, suffering neck, back, lung, spleen, and liver damage. The children suffering bad bruises and cuts, but mostly in a state of shock, remembering their father and hoping their mother survives.
She's my hero. If I lose her too, I don't know what I'll do.
Really such a heartbreaking story. And again, as I mentioned, the concern for today is going to be for heavy rain. In this area, flash flooding is certainly a possibility, but that doesn't mean we can't rule out still the potential for some of these storms today to produce 40 to 50 mile-per-hour winds. So it's going to be another active day. Today, though, up and down the East Coast. In Durham, North Carolina, Dylan Dreyer for the Weather Channel.
Thanks, Dylan. And it's stories like those heartbreaking stories. That's why we're tracking these storms, and we want to keep you out ahead of them. Dr. Greg Forbes is tracking the very latest from the lab. Dr. Forbes?
And at the moment, no tornado warnings, but we've had 29 at least confirmed tornadoes thus far. The states that are colored here in shading, at least 8 states and have had either confirmed or preliminary tornado reports. Here are some of the numbers. Illinois leads with 7, 6 in Missouri, and then as you see, 5 confirmed from yesterday morning around the dawn hours in Georgia. Now that weather system is still going. These big weather systems, especially as we get into the fall and winter, take on a big comma shape in the cloud pattern. The upper low is back where the comma head of the punctuation mark, if you made that analogy, is. And then the tail here is where the warmer air is out along and ahead of a cold front. And it's in those areas today where we still do have some damaging wind gusts and the chance of a tornado. So I've given here this area includes Washington, D.C. You're probably just about out of the threat now. You've had tornado warnings in the past hour. Might go as far north as Albany, New York. Mostly there'll be locally heavy rain. The storms should be pretty isolated. Here's what we see right now. Little line segments. Another one coming up toward the east side of Washington and the Annapolis area. The one that is up around Baltimore now is the one that earlier came through Washington, D.C. Notice that many of these do not have lightning. This next one does have a little bit more lightning than the one that has gone through. Here's the one that had the tornado warnings previously. It's weakened and up around the Baltimore area right now. It's heading up toward the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, probably about a little after 3 o'clock as that comes in through there. Right now, you see a little bit of a line segment that's in around the Towson, Maryland area. And then if I slide down a little bit, you'll see, whoops, didn't want to do that. Slide down a little bit, you'll see that we have that next storm that's down around the Tappahannock area, heading up toward Montrose and then Lexington, the Prince Frederick area. So still some storms out there capable of producing locally damaging winds as well as a chance of a brief tornado spin up. Let's go back now to Dave.
And with the threat of those severe thunderstorms, flight delays. Now, right now at the Washington, D.C., there is a ground stop, but conditions should improve and then traffic should be going in and out of Washington. Though it is cloudy, there's rain, but the severe weather, or the threat for severe weather, has moved east of Washington and north of Washington, as Dr. Forbes just mentioned. Philadelphia just getting in on this act. This number may actually increase as the day wears on. New York City, 0. Thunderstorms will get in there early tonight. So if you're flying to or through, say, Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, ABE Airport, or New York City metropolitan area, there are going to be some delays here. By the time the thunderstorms get to Boston, well, the traffic going in and out of Boston should really dwindle. So we're not looking for some major delays there. Heads up, we'll give you the updates as necessary today. Now, Louisiana took a hit, right?
Yeah, Dave, actually, crews are getting right to work cleaning up the mess that was left behind by a storm system that was in northern Louisiana. Trees down everywhere. A lot of homes damaged. No full count on that just yet. Senator Mary Landrieu is surveying the damage caused by an EF2 tornado today and will hold a community meeting at State Representative Jackson's office at 5:45 p.m. local time. Now let's go to the east, where we're seeing more of what happened in the Atlanta area. The National Weather Service is confirming 5 tornadoes in the area. Those were all rated EF0, EF1 in strength, but right here at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, we were under a tornado warning while I was right here in the studio during Wake Up with Al. And
wow.
Yes, of course, we had a couple people who were trying to go outside and look at it, then taking cover.
Right. And fortunately, we're in the middle of the building in the basement, which is the perfect place to be.
Luckily for that. Okay, we've got a lot of strong storms. We're going to be talking more about those when we come back.
And the tropics, too. Stay with us.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
For over a decade, doctors have been prescribing Nexium to patients just like you. For many, prescription Nexium helps heal acid-related erosions in the lining of the esophagus. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Avoid if you take clopidogrel. Nexium 40 milligram is only available by prescription. Talk to your doctor. For free home delivery, enroll in Nexium Direct today.
This week on America's Morning Headquarters, going green sounds great, but can you do it and stay high tech? Gadget guru Jen Jolly shows us the tools we need to go eco and tech all the way. This week, starting at 7 on the biggest weather hour anywhere, America's Morning Headquarters, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms, high 87, chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Sir, we're loaded and getting ready to go. We're going to need you on the runway.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back.
Sir?
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
Yoplait Light is now better than ever. It still melts in your mouth with 90 calories and is now aspartame-free. Yoplait Light. It is so good, it's better than ever.
The 6-cylinder, 8-speed Lexus GS with more standard horsepower than any of its German competitors. This is a wake-up call.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Mixed signals. Thunderstorms moving through Norfolk, except there's not much in the way of thunder or lightning here. It's just heavy rain. That'll move out over the Chesapeake Bay, and then there's more where that came from. A wet rush hour this afternoon. Further north, Washington, D.C., we've got some rain here. The heaviest weather's off to the east in a line from Baltimore to just west of Annapolis, and then right up the JFX up towards southeastern Pennsylvania. You are just getting in on some strong showers, especially west of Philadelphia. Southwest of Philly, down near the airport, there are some delays, so keep that in mind. PHL delays. Up in Allentown, some showers, some delays likely there later on this afternoon. And in New York City, just cloudy skies, but the rain will edge west to east. I know it's moving south to north on the screen, but there's more out in Pennsylvania that will slide to the east, and it's going to be a rainy night in the New York City metropolitan area. Here's a look at the forecast for New York City. Chance of showers clear through 3 a.m. So make sure you have your umbrella and know that there are going to be some delays this evening at LaGuardia, at Newark, and also at JFK. That's a look at radar right now. Now back to Kate.
Thanks, Dave. Well, an American astronaut that's known all over the world is now sharing his amazing view of the world with the world. Colonel Chris Hadfield sat down with Al Roker and Stephanie Abrams this morning on Wake Up with Al to talk about his new book, You Are Here, Around the World in 92 Minutes.
Colonel Hadfield, thank you so much for joining us. And this book is really an amazing collection of these images that, and you of all people, had a really bird's eye view, literally, of our weather.
Imagine if you had 45,000 pictures of the world, including all the big storms, because I was up there for half a year, so watched the big hurricanes in the southern hemisphere, then moving north, got those 45,000 pictures. I went through them all, chose like my favorite 1,000, and then from those, I chose my favorite 150 and put them into that book.
What would you say is, I know it's got to be hard to pick your favorite picture, but do you have one or maybe a couple favorites?
No, the 150 are my favorite, of course.
All right, so you've narrowed it down to 150 is what you're saying.
That's a lot from 45,000. There's one of weather, though, of high-altitude cloud that you can just barely see. Noctilucent cloud, the tiny ice crystals way in the super high atmosphere that the sun has to reflect over the horizon onto them. Once in a while you see those. It's like the early harbingers of weather.
And you are such a YouTube sensation. You're a stellar cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity, over 1 million Twitter followers. So why did you decide to jump into social media?
Well, you know, the first moon landing was like the original reality TV. If you think about it, no matter what happened, they put it on international television. And to me, as a kid, I just thought, if you're doing something interesting on behalf of a lot of other people, don't keep it to yourself. You should use all the technology that exists to let people see what you're seeing.
Commander Hadfield, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. It's a terrific book. You Are Here in bookstores now. Check it out.
Well, 2 powerful tropical cyclones in 2 oceans, Kate. We're going to update you on the update on Gonzalo and also Ana.
Yeah.
But first, this great picture from NASA.
This is so neat. Talk about getting into the Halloween spirit. This was taken just last week of the sun.
Whoa. Its active regions give it a look, I guess, of a jack-o'-lantern, huh?
Yeah, you doing any pumpkin carving this year?
I'm not doing any pumpkin carving.
Should we do some pumpkin carving?
You actually look like a pumpkin today.
I kind of do
look
like
that piece
a
of
pumpkin.
lint right there.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, 2 powerful tropical cyclones, as we mentioned, Ana in the Pacific, and we've got Gonzalo in the Atlantic. And we're going to update you on the tracks of both and show you where they're heading.
Yeah, we're also going to dive even deeper and show you why Bermuda is getting a little bit of a sense of deja vu, and it may not be as rare as you think.
Mm-hmm.
We're also tracking severe storms. We're going to bring you the very latest with those threats, including places like New York City, when we come back after Local on the 8th.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 select tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get 6 months special financing on purchases of $199 or more. Trust the boys to get you there.
Maybe you didn't know people with the flu can spread it up to 6 feet away. Or that flu can make chronic conditions worse. Maybe you didn't know any of the stuff your Rite Aid pharmacist knows. But now that you've gotten your flu shot at Rite Aid, maybe you don't need to.
When we say the all-new Chrysler 200 is all new, we mean it. We used the latest tools and built a new state-of-the-art manufacturing plant. We gave it new smart technology. We challenged conventional thinking with a more intuitive design. And we set new expectations of what an American sedan can be. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Don't let back pain limit your life. I'm Arlene Mandrell, the Mandrell Sisters, and I'd like to share a solution with you.
Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurances. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
So what are you waiting for? Call Allied Home Medical now. 1-800-230-6099.
7 a.m. on AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Every Sunday.
Mom and Dad told us they had just made their funeral and burial pre-arrangements. We thought they already had taken care of that. When we learned it was through Beth Israel and Eternal Light, we knew everything would be handled in the most caring and professional way. We realized it would be one of the most difficult days of our lives. It inspired my husband and me to make our own pre-arrangements so the burden wouldn't fall on our children when that day comes. It's not an easy thing to think about, but I'm so glad we did.
Now with the Xfinity TV Go app, you can watch live TV anytime. It's never been easier with so many networks all in one place. Get live TV whenever you want. The Xfinity TV Go app, now with live TV on the go. Enjoy over Wi-Fi or on Verizon Wireless 4G LTE. Plus, now you get up to a $100 prepaid card when you purchase any new Verizon Wireless smartphone or tablet from Comcast. Visit Comcast.com/wireless to learn more.
With 5 screenings for $149. Call now at 800-393-7147.
If you miss this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, it's 20 past. Welcome back. I'm hurricane specialist Michael Lowry with the latest on the tropics. Here we are, Hurricane Gonzalo. This is the strongest hurricane we've had this hurricane season. Also the strongest hurricane we've had since 2011 in the Atlantic Ocean. Pretty amazing. 130-mile-per-hour winds. This makes Gonzalo a Category 4 hurricane. Pressure is 949 millibars, moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. It's still about 600 miles or so to the south of Bermuda. This is what it looks like on the visible picture. It's very hard to see where the eye is because the eye is so darn small. It's right in here. The eye wall, the primary eye wall, that ring of the worst weather, only about 5 miles removed from the center of Gonzalo. So this is a very small storm right now. But at the same time, there's another eye wall, a secondary eye wall that's forming right around it. What happens when these storms form a second eye wall is that first eye wall goes away, the second eye wall takes over, and the storm becomes bigger. The maximum winds expand outwards. So this one looking like the intensity may be leveling off, but the wind field is expanding, and this has some impacts because it's moving in the direction of Bermuda. This is what the water vapor picture looks like. The winds at the mid to upper part of the atmosphere. There's a big dip in the jet stream over here across the eastern part of the U.S. That's the same system that brought severe weather to the middle part of the country earlier this week. That is swinging out into the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to deflect this storm from reaching the lower 48 and allowing it to move further out to sea, but unfortunately in the direction of Bermuda. This is the forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Keep this a major hurricane, major meaning winds of 111 miles per hour or higher, Thursday evening approaching Bermuda, and then perhaps Friday morning impacting them. Now, keep in mind the official forecast takes it about 100 miles to the west of Bermuda, but the average error 2 days out is about 100 miles. So this storm could be 100 miles in either direction. The core of this could certainly be over Bermuda. It could be over here, but again, it's growing in size, and because it's growing in size, even if the center of this doesn't move directly over Bermuda, they can expect those impacts from this. Let's show you what it might look like. This is one of our model representation. Even if the storm, again, over on this side, those tropical storm or hurricane force conditions by Friday morning. So something to keep an eye to if you're out there in Bermuda. All right, Tropical Storm Anna in the Central Pacific. This 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm headed in the direction of the big island of Hawaii over some very warm ocean waters here. We're expecting this to become a hurricane. Very unusual to get a hurricane impact in Hawaii, Dave. In fact, a little bit of deja vu, or is that deja vu? Dave, right?
You got it. Dave is here. Just call it deja vu for two island paradises, or Dave-ja vu. Well, there's lots of wild coincidences surrounding the two tropical systems right now. In the Pacific, Hawaii could become the first state to have back-to-back tropical systems since Texas got a 1-2 punch in 2008. But right now, let's talk about Bermuda, because they could feel the impacts from a second tropical cyclone in less than a week. Let's take a look here. Now, this is back on October 9th. That's when we were following Faye, kind of an aspect of this upper level low. There it is, right there. And then it hit Bermuda. It was strengthening. They had hurricane force wind gusts there. Now, what, how many days later? It hit on the 12th. Now here we are on the 15th, and we're keeping an eye on something that's stronger than Faye ever was, as Michael just told us. And look at this. It's taking a track to the west of Bermuda, but this time, this cold front that has moved offshore of Charleston, South Carolina, is going to bump this thing north and eventually come back around to Bermuda by the time Friday gets here as a hurricane this time, not as a tropical storm. So 2. Now, the last time this happened was back in 1981. It was Floyd a week after Emily. Close enough that they felt the direct impacts here in Bermuda, and people are out shopping for whatever supplies are left at the stores here in Bermuda because we've got an eye on Gonzalo. It'll be a hurricane, folks. Back to you, Kate.
Yeah, Dave, those severe storms, another thing that we're watching, they're continuing to push east. Washington, D.C. already has seen a few tornado warnings today. It's just a few more branches on the ground. We'll tell you more about this when we come back.
Awesome! I've been Claritin Clear for 8 days.
At the first sign of your allergies, doctors recommend taking 1 Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
21 days. 14 days of continuous relief.
Live Claritin Clear every day.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Let's do a reality check. Kids will be kids. Dogs will be dogs. So let's get some paint that's more than just paint. Made to stand up to this and look beautiful for years. Let's lose the old marks and messes and stop new ones in their tracks. Let's worry-proof our walls. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Bear Premium Plus with Easy Clean Finish starting at $25.97 a gallon.
I've always seen No-No on TV and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy, the #1 hair removal system in the world.
It's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
Well, I saw it on TV and they said it was painless, right? I didn't really believe it, but now that I'm trying it, it feels completely painless.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
No more facial hair. No more embarrassment.
I've always been self-conscious of my hairline, so putting my hair back, this will be perfect for me.
And for that man in your life, there's No-No for him too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now and we'll send you the cordless No-No Pro in your choice of colors. Featuring an LCD display, it comes with up to 5 treatment levels. Plus, we'll include everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. A set of Thermicon tips, specially designed for your face and body. A buffer pad to exfoliate and polish your skin. Plus, act now and we'll send you the No-No travel case as a free gift. And get this, you can try No-No risk-free for not 30 days, but 60 days with our triple guarantee. If you are not 100% satisfied, return it and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
I need to get myself one of these right now.
Absolutely.
For your 60-day trial, go to nonopro.com or call 1-800-955-2390. That's 1-800-955-2390.
Tuesdays.
I bought 51% of this business. I now control you, and I can throw you out.
Marcus Lemonis does whatever it takes to fix a failing business.
I'm 100% in charge.
The Profit, all new Tuesdays at 10 Eastern on the fastest growing network in prime time.
What I say goes.
CNBC.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. this afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
I could tell that wind was just like throwing things at the window. Then I heard the loudest bang I've ever heard in my life. It pulled a lot of the trees right out of the ground.
That woman lives in the Atlanta area, but she's feeling empathy from all across the South today. The October severe outbreak continues its tour of America with the nation's capital and its birthplace, Philadelphia. Much of the severe weather is in the Baltimore area now, or at least potential severe weather moving up into Pennsylvania, and it's going to continue to push north and east from there.
Yeah, that means Philadelphia is up next. The afternoon commute may be even more miserable than normal. And take a look at this. This is the damage that these storms left behind in Monroe, Louisiana. It's in the northern part of the state. This system moving east, not quite as powerful as it once was, but we have seen it still spin off some tornado warnings today. One of those warnings, at least one of those warnings, in the nation's capital, right there.
But that's gone. That's expired, and that's the end of that.
Right. The EF2 tornado that was in Monroe, Louisiana, it actually took some people by surprise.
And 5 tornadoes in Atlanta.
Can you believe that?
Small, brief spin-ups, but still. NBC's Ron Bloom talked to residents today who were busy cleaning up after their storms.
There is common lore here in Monroe, Louisiana, that a tornado has never touched down inside the metro area. But don't tell that to the survivors of Monday's weather bomb that landed on the Garden District.
Well, I thought it was going to be that cow and twister and just go on up into the funnel.
Lots of debris, and lots of noise, and lots of rain.
There were trees snapping. We could hear them snapping in the wind and debris flying everywhere. It was like a video game. It didn't seem real.
Carmelita Vogt is a believer in the power of wind and good luck now. She and her young daughter were driving through the neighborhood when the storm exploded upon them. But neither they nor their car was scratched. When they got home, though, they found their rental duplex a total loss. Throughout this 20-square block area, there are massive old trees that fell in as many directions as you can imagine. That signature helped convince the National Weather Service that this was an EF2 tornado with winds of up to 135 miles per hour. Glenn Northcutt, who was inside the home he's in the process of buying, said he needed no convincing it was a twister.
I didn't think that it was a tornado until I saw the debris and trees flying sideways in the air, and then it was pretty clear. Convinced me I want to put my butt in the house.
Pat Mays, who thought she would go for an airborne ride, now assesses damage at her cozy home in this historic district.
I used to have a nice big pecan tree right here, and now it is in my dining room, or there's a big hole in my dining room.
This tornado, which left the neighborhood in shambles with trees and broken utility poles, did not take any lives or cause any serious injuries, which makes it a lot easier for residents here to cut up their beloved trees, pile up the pieces, and sweep up the debris. For the Weather Channel, Ron Blome reporting from Monroe, Louisiana.
Are you like on those TV shows?
Yeah, we are talking about some pretty strong storms that we're watching, and this is where they progressed so far. So it's swept through Louisiana, like Ron Blome was just telling us. Look at what we have now. We've watched this latest line make its way out of D.C. Right now, you just have some light rainfall. But Baltimore, you're getting plenty of that rain and some of those heavier downpours as well. We don't have any tornado warnings, but we did for the nation's capital just a couple hours ago. Take a look at where that rain's currently falling the hardest. Just north of Lakeshore, moving on up into Baltimore and then up into Cockeysville. That's where we have some of those heaviest downpours. Look where this is along. This is 695, the loop around. You've got 83. Those are going to be very, very difficult places to travel for your evening commute. And when you're trying to get the kids home and whenever you're trying to get home from work, all those things going to be problems for you today. Here's what we've got going on with this other line back here in the portions of Pennsylvania. Lancaster, in fact, you're just moving out of the heaviest downpours right now. This continues to push on off toward your east. This line is moving south to to north as it moves east. So some of these spots are getting very heavy downpours. Little Britain, you just got quite the downpour there. Spring as well. Pottsville, you're getting a lot of that rain. The good news is that, again, these are not severe thunderstorms, but they certainly are strong, and you are going to feel their impact on the roads this afternoon. A wider shot here shows you that these showers, as I mentioned, moving from south to north, so we will be monitoring some of these areas for potential training. Whenever you get those showers kind of setting up and moving over the same area like train cars on a train track, that's when you get flood concerns. So we'll be monitoring for that for you as this continues to make its way up into upstate New York. So pretty large stretch. And look what happens to this. This is not necessarily great news because you're not going to clear out very quickly. In fact, this cold front not going to be moving too much. It's going to kind of rotate more so. And it's because that low is stuck to our north. Look at it. It's just hanging out. It stops that northeast track because the jet stream kind of keeps it pinned in place there north of the lakes. So you're kind of socked in with these mostly cloudy conditions over the next couple of days. In fact, you're going to be seeing some of that additional rainfall, especially through New England. So look at the jet stream. This is what I'm talking about here. So we've been seeing it truck across the U.S. Now that it's trapped here, we aren't going to be seeing too much movement. In fact, it's really slowed down, Dave.
It really has slowed down. The main low is still back in Indiana, for gosh sakes. I'll tell you, flight delays, yep, we got them going on now. As a matter of fact, with the storms in the area, flight pattern area of D.C. and Philadelphia, there are ground stops. So flights that are coming into Philadelphia or D.C. from other airports around the country are being held at the present time. And I think we can also see that there are some flights in here, some of the inbound flights that are now doing circles. They're in a holding pattern right around Philadelphia. So expect some major delays there. Then later on this evening, say 6, 7 o'clock, perhaps in the New York City metropolitan area here too. So we've got inclement weather moving into the northeast. Even in New York City without the thunderstorms, the winds are gusting to 26 miles an hour. That could slow operation from, say, landing at 2 landing strips. Well, if it's too windy, they'll just land 1 landing strip, and that can slow operations here too. So just be careful if you're flying into or through or the northeast, the mid-Atlantic states. Because of all this weather that's moving in, we're going to have some delays travel-wise, and of course, it's going to be a slow afternoon rush getting home on the Blue Route in Philadelphia. That's a look at travel and storms. Here's Kate.
Thanks, Dave. Speaking of those storms, 5 tornadoes. That's how many touched down in the Atlanta area alone yesterday. Today, residents are cleaning up after the powerful storms and sharing their memories of the scary moments.
We were sleeping, woken from a dead sleep to this just a horrible sound. Very, very scary.
But all of a sudden we heard like a jet plane or a freight train just coming across the back of the house.
Scary moments in the Atlanta area Tuesday as a whopping 5 tornadoes swept through. The National Weather Service says all the tornadoes were either EF0 or EF1 and struck across a large area both north and south of the city. Now cleanup is the name of the game, with hundreds of large trees and branches uprooted and debris left all around. Just north of Metro Atlanta, people were stunned as they surveyed the damage.
This is like a war zone, and the trees over here that are on the deck, same thing. It pulled it out of the ground and just threw it at the house.
The force of the fast-moving storm system took many by surprise.
I could tell that wind was just like throwing things at the window.
Many people feel lucky that there were no injuries, even if there was plenty of damage left behind.
It's a good Lord watching out for us. There's no doubt about that.
Here's a live look at Baltimore, where it's 70 degrees, raining, but it has tapered off. You know, we saw some blinding rain move through here about an hour ago. Still a slow go, and it's not even the rush hour yet. So 695, 95. Just be careful, take it slow. Well, we're in a day 4 of our October severe outbreak, and still ahead, the latest on the storm threat hitting the East Coast today.
Also, this is just one of the videos that made it into our list of the top 5 videos today, where it was and where this debris flew.
Wow.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America. Eligible for Medicare? That's a good thing, but it doesn't cover everything. Only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. So consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement insurance plans, they could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call today to request a free decision guide. With these types of plans, you'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Plus, there are no networks and virtually no referrals needed. Join the millions who have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP and provided by United Healthcare Insurance Company, which has over 30 years of experience behind it. With all the good years ahead, look for the experience and commitment to go the distance with you. Call now to request your free decision guide.
It was the best day. It was the best day. It was the best day. It was the best day because of you.
We make a great pair.
Huh?
Progressive and the great outdoors. We make a great pair.
Right, totally. That's what I was thinking.
Covering the things that make the outdoors great. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
This picture is from the official Twitter page for the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences at the University of Maryland. And you can see the rain coming down on their giant terrapin. You see that?
Yeah.
There's a turtle out there. And this picture, you can see the shelf cloud moving in over College Park. It's right outside of Washington, D.C., just north, right?
Right, and going south of Washington, D.C. Now we're going to take a live look at Richmond, Virginia. Looking at their Department of Transportation, And to say that that was some heavy rain coming down and still coming down in spots, to say that your evening commute is going to be a problem, if you live in that area, you know how bad it is to begin with.
Yeah.
Travel-wise in the afternoon, you add that on top of it, it's going to be a rough commute.
Right, you have to be patient. There's just no two ways about it.
Yeah, Dr. Greg Forbes is tracking the storms for us right now. He joins us from the lab.
And Kate, the best news right at the moment is that we have no severe or tornado warnings, but we still could get an isolated severe thunderstorm today, but it's not going to be like we had Monday into Tuesday morning when we had a confirmed 29 tornadoes across 8 states, the ones that are dark shaded here, plus at least 4 more that were still preliminary. And some of the damage survey teams are still out there looking for additional ones, leading the number-wise at least 7 in Illinois, 5 from early Tuesday morning in the Atlanta metro area, 3 preliminary still in Florida, and 1 more preliminary still in the Tennessee area. So it's an outbreak. I call 20 or more tornadoes from a system an outbreak, and we certainly had more than that. The storm system is still in progress. It's taken on the shape like these fall and winter storms of big comma cloud patterns with the upper low, the comma head, the rotating comma head like the punctuation mark, and then the tail is where the warmer air is out along and ahead of a cold front. And that's where we could have still some isolated damaging wind gusts and maybe even a stray tornado anywhere from eastern North Carolina up into southern New York. Could include later on this afternoon, evening, a chance in New York City, although mostly it's going to be patches of rain. Here's the situation. Some of the storms that earlier had given tornado warnings around the Baltimore and Washington areas, those have rolled up into Pennsylvania and weakened. A little line segment here, a little stronger down south of Washington, heading up toward the Annapolis and Baltimore areas. That one has some lightning in it, although you can just see now the lightning flashes disappear. So occasionally these storms are thunderstorms. Mostly, though, they're showers, just bordering on having enough instability to be severe. They're over on the east side of the Baltimore area right now, up into the York and Lancaster, Pennsylvania areas, and then the strongest one heading toward the Lexington Park area here, south and east of D.C. I wanted to show you that one in high definition. Well, I'll time that one out. It's going about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Come up toward Annapolis there. Could be some damaging gusts, certainly a burst of heavy rain about 4 o'clock. Baltimore about 4:28 as it's headed right now. Here's the high definition radar. There are some little kinks in the line here and there, but I wanted to show you, I took a slice through this a few minutes ago. I wanted to show you that these are not the kind of huge storms that we often see. Most of the rain here is down below about 20,000 feet, and maybe the storm tops occasionally get up high enough to make some lightning up about 40,000 feet. But for the most part today, we're seeing showers, but when they get intense enough to become thunderstorms, they do have a little bit of a severe weather threat. So stay safe, everybody. Kate, Dave.
Thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. Time for a look at the most interesting pictures and video that we've been getting in to the Weather Channel today.
And you know they're going to be good after this week. We call them our top 5 videos. Here's number 5. 5 confirmed tornadoes hit metro Atlanta Monday. 5 in one metro area when severe weather tore through Georgia. Now, cleanup continues today. This house hit by hard winds, knocking a tree right into the roof.
And this was as people were sleeping. Take a look. Halloween is upon the sun. That's what you're taking a look at here. I'm a little creeped out. I'm not going to lie, Dave.
Number 3.
You can spooky laugh anytime you want.
I don't want to get you too nervous here. Look at this. Oh, of course. It's
Australia.
It's winter time, right?
Yeah.
Or almost winter time in Australia. Slippery, snowy drive. Is that the name of the drive?
Yeah,
or is it just a slippery,
drive.
snowy drive?
I think it's in New South Wales,
Where do you
Australia.
live? The slippery, snowy drive. Yes.
Look at this. 100 sharks in a feeding frenzy. This is in Cape Lookout, North Carolina. If that's not cool video, I don't know what to tell you. Look, can you see them all there in the waves, Dave?
Wow. And the birds. And our number 1 video is this one.
Oh, my goodness.
This was Typhoon Hud. So strong, debris can be seen flying, wind gusts at least 70 miles an hour.
Right, that made landfall in India. So if you want to send us your pictures, videos, go to weather.com/photo.
Try to beat those, my friend.
When you only have one hand, you're not doing anything as fast as you used to.
Do you need help? What is that?
Swiffer dusters. And I can extend so I don't have to get on the step stool. It's like a dirt magnet, just like my kids. I think Swiffer definitely gave me some of that time back.
Ready?
rich, chewy caramel rolled up in smooth milk chocolate.
All aboard.
Rolo, get your smooth on.
According to the U.S. Department of Energy, most homes have air leaks and drafts that waste so much energy, it's like leaving a window open in your home all year long. Don't let another year go by. Call Champion Windows at 888-4CHAMPION. And if you call 888-4CHAMPION right now, Champion will give you $2,000 off a whole house of windows. Plus, Champion now offers no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. So call 888-4CHAMPION today, because every home needs a champion.
You're going to want to watch 7 a.m. on AMHQ.
This is a big weather morning.
The biggest weather hour anywhere. What you watch in the morning matters.
Let's get weather geeky this morning.
Make AMHQ your morning show. America's morning headquarters. Weekday mornings starting live at 7 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is our new turkey cranberry flatbread before we craft it into a sandwich. The tender, slow-roasted turkey, the zesty cranberry mostarda, the freshly baked flatbread, paired perfectly with our autumn squash soup. A delicious meal made just for you, only at Panera Bread.
Brighten up your rainy day with a flatbread sandwich and salad from Panera Bread.
Lowe's presents How to Say Goodbye to 1993 Forever.
Goodbye.
Hurry into Lowe's and get Stainmaster carpet installed free by Thanksgiving.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
I had an opportunity to interview for this amazing job, and I immediately thought Burlington. They have great suits, shoes, bags, everything I needed at a really, really good price. I saved so much on the suit, I went crazy and bought 3 outfits. I got my suit, and I got the job.
When we say the all-new Chrysler 200 is all new, we mean it. We used the latest tools and built a new state-of-the-art manufacturing plant. We gave it new smart technology. We challenged conventional thinking with a more intuitive design. And we set new expectations of what an American sedan can be. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Get up to 20% off and 1,000 rewards points at bestwestern.com with a swipe, a tap.
The Treasure Coast is a special part of Florida. It's why people retire here. It's why Bob and I moved here to raise our daughter, and I believe it needs to be protected. That's why I've worked hard to find funding to clean up the Indian River Lagoon and Loxahatchee. And it's why I voted to cut taxes and fees for our seniors and small businesses. Our community is worth fighting for, and I am just getting started.
Get luxury for less at Alpacker Lincoln. Enjoy incredible savings on Lincoln's best-selling models, like the all-new 2015 Lincoln MKC, just $299 a month, or a new 2014 Lincoln MKX, just $379 a month. Enjoy luxury for less with bottom line windshield pricing. Only at Outbacker Lincoln on Military Trail. And remember,
before you buy, price Packer.
Humana now at 1-866-680-4971.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Pictures coming into the Weather Channel from Bermuda. Taking a look here at what you can see, obviously stores are packed as people are trying to get some more food. This is from the Royal Gazette newspaper, preparing for this storm, getting ready for Gonzalo, a major Category 4 hurricane.
But you probably wouldn't know a Category 4 hurricane is coming to Bermuda if you were on the island and not paying attention to the news. It's a beautiful day. It's 80 degrees. Take a look at Port Bermuda, thanks to PTZ TV. And they have a wind, southeast wind, about 20 miles an hour, but that's not unusual for them. They're not feeling the effects of this thing yet.
Not yet. Yeah, this is the second named storm in a week to make a run at Bermuda. Hurricane specialist Michael Lowry joins us now. Now, this is a major Category 4 storm. We have to go all the way back to 2011 with Ophelia and Katia to get that.
Hard to believe, Kate. Yeah, in 3 years, the strongest that we've seen in the Atlantic Ocean. Gonzalo, though, a big deal. This is a Category 4 hurricane, and it's headed toward Bermuda. As Dave was saying, hurricane watches up, likely becoming hurricane warnings later on this afternoon. About 600 miles to the south-southwest of Bermuda, 130-mile-per-hour winds moving toward the northwest at 12 miles per hour. Now, there have been Hurricane Hunter airplanes that have been flying inside and outside of Gonzalo all day, all morning, and during the afternoon hours. Actually, 2 airplanes. There was an Air Force Hurricane Hunter plane that flew right through the center early today, and there's another NOAA plane that's down here taking some information around the storm. But both of these planes feeding that information back to us, and we can show you all of that information in real time here through this cool technology that we have. Each one of these bars is representing an estimate from the airplane as it's flying about 10,000 feet above the ocean surface. So that's pretty low, and the wind's obviously very strong here. You can see most of these bars, if you look over here, around 130 miles per hour is the highest estimate that we got this morning, 133 miles per hour, and it was this particular estimate from the airplane that allowed the National Hurricane Center to up this from a Category 3 hurricane to a Category 4 hurricane. Those Category 4 strength winds start at 140 miles per hour. Another very interesting thing that they were finding as they flew through here is they passed from south to north through the storm. Now, the worst of the winds generally on the east side, so the winds were a little bit less on the south side of the storm, about 110 miles per hour. There was a little dip in the winds, but another second peak in the winds just outside of that. What it's telling me is that there's a second eye wall forming. The eye wall is just the area where the strongest winds are. So you have that primary eye wall, you have the secondary eye wall, and what does that mean? Well, it means the storm is likely becoming bigger, and it also means that the intensity, thankfully, probably leveling off, at least for the time being. But it could strengthen later on. Either way, headed toward Bermuda. So let's update you on the forecast cone. This is what it looks like on the visible satellite picture. Right now, a very small storm. The max wind's only out about 5 miles from the center of the circulation. But if we look at the forecast cone, it's expected to remain a very strong hurricane, a Category 3 hurricane as it approaches Bermuda Friday morning. And remember, this is not just a point on the map. It's a very large hurricane. So certainly hurricane force conditions should be expected in Bermuda come Thursday and Friday. It's really the wind threat that's the primary threat from this one. I want to update you on what's happening in the Pacific Ocean, though, because we have another tropical system. This is Tropical Storm Ana, expected to become a hurricane down the road. It is a 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm, about 600 miles or so from Hawaii. Take a look at the forecast track, though. We're talking about a hurricane headed toward Hawaii. Very unusual. There has never been a hurricane on record to strike the big island of Hawaii, Dave. So this one is going to be a big headline as we move into the weekend. Back to you.
Isn't that something? 2 hurricanes focusing in on 2 little dots in the middle of a ginormous ocean.
That's what's amazing out there, folks.
Well, the storm system that caused 29 tornadoes in the south is now making its presence known on the East Coast.
Coming up, where we are seeing the strong threat of severe weather and when it's expected to hit and how long it's expected to last. Before that, here's a live look at our nation's capital. Get your stopwatch. Another hour of Weather Center Live starts in just 60 seconds.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening, then skies turning partly cloudy after midnight. Low 70. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Look at this mess. A deadly storm system sliding eastward, and now Baltimore, Philadelphia, and the New York City metro areas in for storms.
And not everything is as it seems. Take this live, well, they had a live picture from Bermuda that just went poof on us, but it's beautiful weather over there. The point is, a major hurricane is heading toward them.
People are preparing. We've seen a lot of pictures coming out that they're getting ready.
Let's roll the intro. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. Oh, yeah.
Team effort there.
Hey, not only is Bermuda in the path of a major hurricane, but residents of the Northeast are about to get sloshed with heavy rain and isolated severe weather. That's possible this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Kate Parker in for Alex Wilson. In Atlanta, for instance, the National Weather Service is confirming, get this, 5 tornadoes.
Woken from a dead sleep to this just a horrible sound. Very, very scary.
But all of a sudden we heard like a jet plane or a freight train just coming across the back of the house.
Yeah, that weather now moving east and a new batch of Americans dealing with the storms. NBC's Dylan Dreyer tells us others are learning to cope with lifelong damage.
Here in Durham, the rain really came down very heavily, and we've noticed this whole storm system transition from a severe weather event to more of a heavy rain event. So from here on out, we're not really looking for widespread damage from wind or tornadoes. Sadly, though, the same can't be said for parts of the South earlier this week. Charles Edward Witham, a Marine and father of 4, was killed when his home was hit by a tornado. We talked to his mother and daughter. This wasn't the first tornado to tear through Juliana Ormsby's hometown of Ashdown, Arkansas, but it was the first time her home was directly in one's path.
I feel like it's a nightmare that's not stopping.
She and 2 of her siblings were home with their parents, Roxanne and Eddie Witham, when the EF2 tornado tore through their neighborhood, the 111-mile-per-hour winds blowing their house to pieces.
All I saw was my walls all coming at me and my bed flipping me through the air.
All 3 children and their mother survived the storm. Eddie, a former Marine, did not.
He went through 2 tours in Iraq, and a tornado kills him.
I can't believe he's gone. Everything that he's not going to be able to do now. He's not going to be able to see any of us graduate or walk me down the aisle.
The children's mother remains in critical condition this morning after undergoing surgery on Tuesday, suffering neck, back, lung, spleen, and liver damage. The children suffering bad bruises and cuts, but mostly in a state of shock, remembering their father and hoping their mother survives.
She's my hero. If I lose her too, I don't know what I'll do.
Really such a heartbreaking story. And again, as I mentioned, the concern for today is going to be for heavy rain. In this area, flash flooding is certainly a possibility, but that doesn't mean we can't rule out still the potential for some of these storms today to produce 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. So it's going to be another active day. Today, though, up and down the East Coast. In Durham, North Carolina, Dylan Dreyer for the Weather Channel.
Thanks so much, Dylan. Yeah, we're tracking those storms now because we want to help prevent anyone else from seeing a tragedy like that. So that's why we keep you on top of the weather. Let's talk about these rain and thunderstorms and what exactly you're going to be seeing with these issues. So we've got a lot of those showers pushing from south to north right across D.C. The good news is the tornado warnings that we saw there earlier, long gone. We could still see some isolated severe cells. So some of these embedded within this general movement from south to north could be a little stronger, could contain some damaging winds. We could see quite a bit of lightning and thunder. You'll see a lot of that. So a dangerous evening for you. Waldorf, you're getting a lot of that rain, those heavier downpours right now. Prince Frederick, you're going to be seeing some of those heavier downpours in the next few minutes. DC, though, you've got light to moderate rain and you are socked in. You're going to be seeing it for a while. That already miserable evening commute with all of the construction and everything going on, going to be even worse. Here's what we've got going on in Baltimore right now. You've got just some light rainfall there. If you go a little farther off toward your west into Columbia, that's where we have some heavier downpours. That goes down into Laurel, and you'll notice that Cockyville, you're getting out of those heavier downpours, but those are moving north to Peach Bottom. That's where we're starting to see a couple more of those heavier showers. Now, Philadelphia, you've just got some light rain right now, but you go a little farther to the west here into Spring, and that's where you're seeing some very heavy downpours. So if you're trying to commute, head out toward Allentown maybe this afternoon or this evening. That's where you're going to see some of that rain start to pick up in the near future. Pottsville, you're also getting soaked. So ponding on roadways, traffic problems, all going to be a concern for you. I know this is as you're getting the kids from school, as you're trying to get out, get something to make for dinner, and you are going to get soaked if you're trying to go to the grocery store. I would suggest trying to do an alternative plan. You've got those showers moving north, Washington, D.C. I think you're going to get some heavier downpours, as you can see here in about the next hour or so. Dave.
Yeah, Washington, D.C. is just a wash. Even down in Richmond, Virginia on Interstate 95, you can see what it looks like. Visibility is not good, and there's plenty of spray coming up off those 18-wheelers and even off the 4-wheelers. So make sure you leave plenty of space between you and the driver up ahead of you. Definitely low beams needed for this afternoon's rush hour, and also impacts at the airports. Look at the ground stop at Washington, D.C. That's for a Reagan International Airport, also at Dulles. That means that flights that are destined for those two airports are being delayed. Say you're waiting in Houston for your flight to D.C. Well, you're not boarding the plane yet, unfortunately. 92-minute delays here in Philadelphia. No delays yet in New York City, but I expect to see that number come up as the thunderstorms grow closer to you. And inbound flights into Philadelphia are being held in the air. So we're seeing flights getting closer, but not being allowed to land, at least at this point, and that's creating some problems too. So as you can, this is what we're up against. Right now at D.C. it's 72. It's raining. The severe weather is off to our south and east and also north. And conditions are not going to really improve. Here in New York, actually, they will go downhill. This green will turn to yellow or orange because storms will head your way. Kate, back to you.
All right, Dave. Well, crews are getting right to work cleaning up the mess that was left behind by this system in northern Louisiana. Trees down everywhere, a lot of homes damaged. Senator Mary LaDrew is surveying the damage caused by an EF2 tornado today and will hold a community meeting at State Representative Jackson's office at 5:45 p.m. local time. Now let's go to the east where we're seeing more of what happened in the Atlanta area. The National Weather Service confirming 5 tornadoes in the Atlanta metro, both north and south of the city. 5 confirmed tornadoes, both EF0, EF1, but still a lot of damage you're seeing.
That might be a record.
It's a lot.
You know, some places just have been going through a rough year so far. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Eligible for Medicare, that's a good thing, but it doesn't cover everything. Only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. So consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement insurance plans, they could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call today to request a free decision guide. With these types of plans, you'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Plus, there are no networks, and virtually no referrals needed. Join the millions who have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP and provided by United Healthcare Insurance Company, which has over 30 years of experience behind it. With all the good years ahead, look for the experience and commitment to go the distance with you. Call now to request your free decision guide.
This Monday.
Suddenly there are 3 suns? What would you make of that?
Next Monday.
It's a very scary experience, actually.
Every Monday night this fall, the Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth.
What is it that produces these things?
An all-new season starts Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Chance of rain, 80%. Thursday, generally sunny, high 84. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On camera. Oh my God. Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Break the ice with breath-freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
Great. This is the last thing I need.
Seriously? The last thing you need is some guy giving you a new catalytic converter when all you got is a loose gas cap. Let's take this puppy over to Midas and get you some of that good old Midas touch. Dude, you know what? I'll drive. I really didn't think this through.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package, including an oil change for only $24.99. And here's the deal. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $25. Oil, tires, brakes, everything. Trust the Midas Touch.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
When I had my first migraine, I was lucky. That sounds crazy, I know, but my mom got migraines, so she knew this would help. Excedrin migraine starts to relieve my pain in 30 minutes, plus sensitivity to light, sound, even nausea. Excedrin migraine works.
Some images from the nation's capital. Our buddy Potomac WX sent us this picture of lightning over the Lincoln Memorial. Just a beautiful shot. Thank you for that one. Howard County Fire and Rescue shared this photo on Twitter of the work they're doing this afternoon to remove trees from this building in Laurel, Maryland. You guessed it, we had some severe weather roll through here right about, when was it, 1 o'clock, 1:30? And there have been some reports just south of the district here, large branches blocking northbound lanes of the GW Parkway just south of I-495. So that's down toward Mount Vernon. So just keep that in mind as you're traveling south of Washington, D.C. Fortunately, the rough weather has left us, but still, we've got plenty of rain left over for rush hour, both in the district and surrounding areas of Virginia and Maryland. This line of showers is moving north, as you can see, so it's moving right up Interstate 95, headed toward Baltimore. The showers are just ending now, but more rain is on the way. Annapolis, Baltimore, everybody in on it. I-95, you can imagine it's going to be a headache as we get closer to rush hour. And here we are in Philadelphia. How about the Schuylkill Expressway? Wet. Kelly Drive, wet. Delaware Avenue, wet. New York State, dry. We're cloudy. It's humid. Rain is on the way. And here's the forecast for you in New York City. Showers and thunder showers, maybe a thunder shower this evening, then a wet night tonight with just a slow clear. This is a very slow moving system. All right, we switch from land side to ocean side. There's a major hurricane out there. Let's check it out with Kate.
Right, Dave, our first Category 4 hurricane since the 2011 season. We've got Hurricane Gonzalo. You can see it here north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola there. This is going to continue on a track off to the northeast, helped in part by that system that's moving across the U.S., causing that severe weather. So here's what's going to happen. This could be potentially near Bermuda, nearing it with 120-mile-an-hour sustained winds by the time we get to Friday morning. So right now, we are going to be joined on the phone with Bob Denny. He's from the PGA. Now, Bob, I know that you usually live in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. You there with me?
Yes, I am.
Can you hear me, Bob? Okay. I know that you live in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Gene, Francis, Wilma, you had some major hurricanes that you contended with. How does the preparation work in Bermuda compare to what you've seen happen here stateside?
Well, to be very honest with you, I've been very impressed by the people of Bermuda and how quickly they can assemble and rally themselves to prepare. And I think their structure as well is so much in code and we're ready to adapt to something of this nature.
So you are there with the PGA in Bermuda for a big event that's going on this weekend. Do you have golfers that are preparing? I understand that people are trying to get out of there and you're actually stuck. Is that what's going on?
Would you believe that we've completed the PGA Grand Slam of golf?
Wow.
Martin Keimer of Germany is our winner.
Wow.
And everybody is rushing back to pack and find their way off the island.
So at this point, how are you being told? Are you speaking to any officials on how to handle the situation?
Yes, they told us basically to look at all options for flights, and there's a good chance that we might be lucky to find some passage out tonight. But it's been a real hassle. But it's been tremendously great help by the airlines, and they all understand what we're facing here. Mm-hmm. And also the people of Bermuda have been very good to us and doing everything they can to help us.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Bob Denny with the PGA. Thank you so much for talking to us and letting us know, giving us an inside look at what's happening in Bermuda ahead of Hurricane Gonzalo, Dave.
So we got Gonzalo, and then in the Pacific, it's Ana. Well, we're going to update you on the tracks of both of them next in your Tropical Update. But we're going to dive even deeper and show you why Bermuda is getting a sense of deja vu and why it may not be as rare as you think.